Good afternoon, good morning, buenos dias, konnichiwa, all my beautiful souls out there. I wanted to do a video today on the 12 universal laws. Okay? You know, when I started studying self-help about 10 years ago and had mentors online and progressed through the corporate gauntlet of 30 jobs and had amazing mentors along the way, you know, there was only one mentor, really, that talked about the 12 universal laws. And I had a poster behind me of Albert Einstein, and what Albert Einstein really studied was the 12 universal laws, or he studied the science of life. It was the science of life. And really, that's what I specialize in. You know, I specialize in the mind. I've studied, psychology my entire life, advanced and specialized psychology, and physics or energy, how energy and physics works, and also just the science of life, life wisdom, life experience. I've had the privilege to travel the world, and like I said, go through 30 jobs. I actually went into the first job I started off in earlier this morning, and my old manager, was telling the other manager, man, this guy's living the life. And I don't say this to brag, I say this to build some credibility, since we have so many self-help teenagers or gurus popping up nowadays, and you just take one look at their face and it's just like, you want to tell me what to do with my life? And this video, everything in life is energy, right? We vibrate on 528 hertz when we come into this world. And I'm going to dive into the Book of Life for free today, guys, the 12 universal laws. And I'm going to find the order I use them in from this book, but everything vibrates, right? The trees, the plants, the rainbows even vibrate at 528 hertz. And what does this mean? Well, our mind is what directs all of, energy. And infinite life and Holy Spirit flows through all of us, right? The 528 hertz. And I'm not able to find it. And what do I turn on right before I'm about to shut the book? It's funny how that works, right? And the universal laws are basically... See, I don't believe in adulterating life, right? Or adulterating the vibration of love. Because when you give the vibration of love a name, well, whoever owns that name, or whatever institution owns that name, then guess what? They have power over that, right? And that's why the universe or life has 12 universal laws, and if you master these, you've mastered life, and there's nothing you can do. How do people become billionaires when the stock markets are crashing and the media and everybody's freaking out? Because they understand the law of polarity. They understand the law of rhythm. This is how life works. Life may go down, but it's always going to go back up. That's the beautiful thing, right? If you look at a tree just doesn't grow constantly on a perfect upline. Our lives are no different. They did a study that every 4 or 6 months, no matter how powerful or prosperous you are, you're going to hit a major obstacle. And when this obstacle comes, the law of, rhythm states, exactly that something's going to happen. Then it's your mindset or your mind that's going to decide how you respond and if you overcome it or if you sink down, right? And the law of divine oneness is the first law. And, I say it in my other videos, Mark Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, before he came back and started Apple, and other corporate powerhouses, they went on a spiritual retreat, okay? I don't have my chakra tarp behind me anymore. Instead, I got a suitcase from all the traveling. And the law of divine oneness is exactly the same motto or slogan that the spiritual retreat that Mark Zuckerberg and all of them went to, where the guru said one motto: all is one. All is one. This is what he said. And what does that mean? We're all one. What did I just say? Why was I, rambling on about how the vibration of life is 528 hertz and it flows through all of life that's, living, that's got cells, that's alive? Well, it's exactly that. We're all one. Infinite life or some call it Holy Spirit, flows through all of us. We are all interconnected through the vibration of life. And through the vibration of love, and you take action through the vibration of love, then infinite life expands. And this is, whatever you put out is going to come back to you, because we are energy. We have enough energy in our hand to light up an entire city for days. We have infinite potential and infinite energy inside of us. Even when you die, your body's still letting off a heat signature for a while. That's how much energy we have. You stare at the back of somebody's head long enough with your mind and direct that energy, because what did we say? Our thoughts and our mind direct energy. They're going to turn around. And the law of divine oneness states exactly that. All of this energy that's flowing through all of us, we are all infinite life. We are all life. We are the highest form of creation. And the law of vibration states exactly that. Nothing is resting. We're all vibrating. Unless if got a gold watch or a Corvette, I don't call them materialistic items. I call them dead weight, because they're dead. There's no life. There's no vibration. There's no 432 hertz or 528 hertz like we mentioned. The vibration of love and life. And that's what the law of vibration states. Down to the very decimal, every single person is vibrating. And a lot of them are in the negative, the red zone. But a lot of people are in the green zone too. It's your decision and your responsibility, nobody else, no other figure, to decide what you're going to think. Decide which route you're going to go. This is the gift of free will. And when you understand how the mind works, you understand that we can create whatever we want, and we make our own decisions, right? And this is what awakening is. And the vibration, the law of vibration states, whatever you put out, obviously is going to come back, because we're all vibrating. And this is down to the very decimal. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience, and you start to live from within instead of the outside. This is when you start to see people for who they truly are. When you start to first truly love and embrace and understand yourself from within, then you see a whole nother world. The law of correspondence. Whatever goes on in the inside is going to show on the outside. You know, some of these self-help gurus, they got these bags going down to their nose, right? It's like, I'm not going to pick my nose, I'm going to pick my bags. Gotta have some fun, guys. You know, if you can't take a joke, then don't get out of bed, right? And the law of correspondence states, whatever is going on the inside, yep, it's going to happen on the outside. You know, I don't believe in jumping to conclusions about people, but once you become in tuned enough, and you've interacted and socialized with over 1 million people from all around the world, like myself, and you just have this, you become in tuned enough when you just feel somebody. I'm not saying you look at them, you feel them. Well, what did I say? Live from within. We're all energy, the law of vibration. Well, you just kind of feel them, right? And then you say a couple words, you have some small talk, and you just get a feeling right away. Sometimes you walk by somebody and it's like, oof, something doesn't feel right, or oof, you get a whiff of alcohol and you just get this bad feeling, You try to talk to somebody and you just get a oof, bad vibe, a bad feeling off of them. That's your intuition. Our intuition is our second brain. All of the bees and the animals, they're not thinking that, oh, well, tomorrow we're going to go here and eat. No, they're going with the flow. They're going with the superconscious, or the intuition, which is what connects you to the source and the superconscious. Some call it God. The law of attraction, what did we say? We're all vibrating. We're all energy. Let go of the physical illusion. The physical world is an illusion. Right? Truly embrace, understand, and love yourself from within. Then you start living from within. You start feeling. You start living in the world of energy. Right? And this is a beautiful day when you awaken and you start to see people and humanity and situations for what they really are. And the law of attraction states, since like we talked about, we are always vibrating, we are always energy. The energy is what is changing our neurons in our brain, aka our thoughts program our neurons, quote unquote, top brain experts in the world. And our bodies that are vibrating based on our thoughts, this energy is going to go out. And if you're doing evil things and bad things in life, then guess what energy is going to come back to you? If you're killing people, then guess what energy is going to come back to you, and guess how long you're going to live for? Not for long. But if you were acting from the heart, and you were truly love yourself from within, and then you want to give instead of trying to take to fill your insecurity, then guess what? You're going to get love back. But if you don't truly love yourself first, then you can love your neighbor, and then you can love the Creator and all of life after you love yourself first, because when you understand physics and how the mind works, you understand that everything first starts with your mind, right? You truly embrace and love yourself from within, not some dogma mask where you're in some ego buddy relationship. You truly love yourself from within for who you truly are, what makes you the 400 trillion to one unique miracle that you are, not just your physical fingerprint, but I mean your spiritual and inner fingerprint, and the 400 trillion to one miracle you are, then you begin to truly love yourself, and you become aware of your thoughts. And whatever, if you put out goodness and appreciation, respect and honor and goodness, guess what you get back? And this is why life is always evolving forward, because the people that are putting out good are getting twice and 3 times as much good back, while all the people that are doing bad are just dying off. And good and love is evolving and evolving and expanding, while all of the bad is just dying off. And it's why there may be some downs, but overall life is evolving towards perfection that it's never even reached before. Despite what the people that control, the one family that controls all of the media, you can go look it up and fact check it, and the one family that pays off all the politicians don't want you to know and don't want you to see. It's happening. Do the research. There's hundreds of millions of people listening to the vibration of love. The law of inspired action. I don't need to really go into this one. Like Isaac Newton said, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. But these foolish people want to do spells and magic and try receiving without giving. When I was a foolish college kid, I was very insecure. I wanted to fill my insecurity with money and empty sex and drugs and escape my reality, having to smoke pot for hours on end. And I did some spells, and I got money back. But now I look back from where I'm at now in this present moment, after all of the hard lessons I had to learn the hard way, and I understand that the law of inspired action, if you are not taking action from the heart and through the vibration of love, then you will not receive a positive karmatic spiritual legacy, or karma, quote unquote karma almost. And if you are casting spells, or you're trying to cut corners, or you're trying to instantly manifest without giving anything first, you better be careful when Father Time comes knocking and he says, wait a moment. The universe says, wait a moment. This person's taking and they're not putting any energy out. Whoa, something's off here, and you better get ready, because the wrath of the Creator, or whatever you call the conscious or the universe, it's going to wrath you hard. And you better be ready, because it's not pretty. You have got to take action. You have got to give and then receive. But if you are giving through the vibration of love, then get ready, because the law of compensation states exactly that. If you give through the vibration of love, there's enough to go around where you're going to get 3, 10x back. But you got to put in the work through the vibration of love. And if you're acting through the vibration of love and contributing the unique 400 trillion to one individual that you are, your unique version of yourself to life, which is why you're here, then guess what? 3 people are all doing that. There's 3 different algorithms you can write. You're going to get 9 back. You just put out 1, well then guess what? You're going to get 9 back. Or 3 back. This is the law of compensation. You put out through love, you're going to get compensated 3 times as much back, 6 times as much, depending on how many people you're working on with and the project you're working on. The law of perceptual transmutation of energy. Right? This is very similar to semen retention. Right? We transmutate energy. Right? And I talk about it in semen retention. Right? You hold on to your life force. You transmutate your life force. Thought is going to be transmutated into energy, and the more life force you have, go watch the video. That's a whole 10-minute video. The law of cause and effect. We are energy. No matter what vibration, good or bad, you're acting out of, it's going to come back to you. And you may try to sit there and outsmart it, but what you're really doing is you're just building up the downfall. For when you fall, you're going to fall even harder. I mean, you can outsmart it for a year, and then guess what? Year 2 comes around, and all of that buildup you've been trying to run from is going to hit you hard. These people try to buy fake likes. I talk about it in my video. Try to buy fake subscribers so they can feel better about themselves. And then guess what? 2 or 3 years down the road, they get exposed. They thought they were so smart. They made it 3 years. They're on top of the world. Guess what? Father Time finally catches up to them. All 3 years are going to come crumbling down on you. Not just one, not just that week. All 3 years. You got to be aware, guys, of these things in life. It's very dangerous. The law of relativity. Everything is relative. You know, I started off pushing in carts, but I was still, acting out of righteousness. I still served the customers, was serving them and, wanting to help them all, offering them to, help take their groceries to their car. Then I was a cashier and then several sales jobs. But I was never acting out of selfishness. I was always acting to give. And this is why I prospered. I was always wanting to pick and keep an open mind with my managers. Everybody is relative. If you're acting out of righteousness, everybody has a relative role to play. The garbage man, keeping the environment safe. He's got a role to play, and you'd be surprised. He's feeding his family good. The law of polarity. The yin and the yang. You have to understand that death implies life. When somebody dies, 2 more babies are going to be born. When something is white, it's going to turn black soon. Black is around the corner, night and day. Right? And you have to understand this, because this is very deep wisdom. Right? This is coming from almost, I don't like to give the label Buddhism, but this is enlightenment. Right? And this is why when someone dies, I rejoice, like Yoda said. I had a poster of Yoda, and a lot of people were like, oh, that's make-believe, and it's not. The people that wrote his character were making sure he sounded like the wisest character in the universe. And they were pretty damn close, some of the quotes he says. And he's right. Rejoice for those who die. They took a philosophy of enlightenment from the Eastern cultures. Because he understands that, hey, they get a rest in peace, but we are spiritual beings. They have not died. They're just resting, and their legacy and their spirit is still here with us, and is still vibrating through infinite life, and they are still picking up a karmatic spiritual count. I don't like to use the word karma. Watch my video on religion, that's why, but spiritual legacy. So they don't die, they're still resting, and they're still here. Energetically, which is what we are, energy, they're still here. And that's what he's saying, rejoice for them. They're still here, now they just get a rest. They're retired. They're retired. That's basically what Yoda's saying. Rejoice for those who have passed away. And now 2 more lives are going to be born. And now life is going to keep expanding. And life is still evolving even further. It's a beautiful thing. The law of polarity, guys. Black and white. The yin and the yang. Okay? When something's bad, be positive and focus on the solution. And you're going to come out twice as strong. The law of rhythm. Same thing. The blizzards are going to come. It's natural for blizzards to come. It's natural for snow to come. And 99% of the population in the South, they're doing just fine. But that 1% that's moving in from other states and whatnot, of course the media wants to focus on them. But the law of rhythm states there's going to be storms. But you got to learn from your downs. I learned from every one of my failures. I love failure because it always has allowed me to learn and grow. Now I know. One of the most powerful quotes I got when I was driving Lyft. Now I know. Or some guy told me, now you know. That's it. It's that simple. You live and you learn. We're all life. We are the highest form of life. If a tree is constantly evolving, we are the same. We got to learn and mature from our mistakes, right? And the more mature you get, then the more there is to love about you, the more maturity you have. And the law of rhythm states that, but your mindset and your vibration, gratitude can solve any storm in life, anything. Just gratitude alone. Attach gratitude. God, there's a reason why Tony Robbins, The Rock, any powerhouse will tell you that gratitude is the most powerful lesson they could teach you. And I hands down agree. I've seen it work in my life. I've seen it help people overcome depression by bringing them back into the present moment and bringing them up to life. That's what gratitude does. It connects you to life, the vibration of abundance and prosperity. And the law of gender is not a penis or a vagina. The law of gender is energy, right? And it's very similar to the yin and the yang, right? There are different forms of energy. And I don't believe in female or male. That's very, very silly. I've met males that are very strong. They can control their emotions. They've been through a lot. They're very mature. And then I've met males who are very soft. They're very weak. These are the right words. These are the root of the problem. They're very weak. They don't know how to control their emotions. They don't know how to direct their thoughts. They can't. They let their emotions control them. They let the barking dog, a little fucking animal, have complete power over them, and they start freaking out and yelling at a little dog that's barking. I walk up to the dog and I say, hey, I understand you're scared. You're all right. You're all right, Snickers. You're all right. You don't need to bark. You're all right. I understand you're scared, but you're all right. You're all right. I understand. And then there's the other girl. Stop barking! The little girl that's freaking out and she's raped by the dog. What did I just say? It's the truth. Martin Luther King said, I will allow no man to have power over me. What he's saying, I will allow no man to rape me or no woman to rape me. I will hate no man, Martin Luther King. I will hate no man because I will not allow that man to have power over me. He's very, very wise. There was a reason he was assassinated, for trying to unite the people together. But that's another story. And I'm going to close on this last law. And that's exactly what he's saying, though. Because when you think about it, after watching this video, and if you already are enlightened, or for you people that are more advanced, it's exactly that. We are all energy. Our thoughts direct this energy. The physical world is an illusion, right? So when you hate somebody, or you allow a stranger or a little animal to have power over you mentally and energetically, it's no different than rape. And the law of gender is exactly why I don't believe in female or male. Those are physical. I've met females that are very strong. They've been through a lot in life. Strong and weak. They're not little boys or little babies that sit around crying, instead of actually taking action and fixing their problems that require strength. I met very strong women. They don't have to drink. They don't have to take drugs. They take action, which requires strength, and above all, they can control their emotions. They know how to direct their emotions. It's because they're strong from within. And these are the 12 universal laws, guys, and in summary, like I wrote in the Book of Life, in summary, what's going on here is, overall, it's going back to the one point. We are all energy, which this energy is directed by our mind and our inner being, our true self. And that life is always evolving, always growing, right? But a tree needs water, a tree needs sun, a tree needs oxygen and wind, airflow. And there's going to be storms that come. And this is the science of life, guys. And we are the highest form of creation in life. So this is why you would want to study the science of life. It's been about a decade now. Every single month, every single week. No vacations off. I could probably say Of course, the colleges aren't going to teach this stuff, but it could be almost a BA or a doctorate, in the science of life. And it's why I started my international nonprofit, where we're going to each country and uniting them together and connecting them to the rest of the world and allowing their voices to be heard from what the media, the media or the news is going to tell you about Mexico or the Philippines or India. That's why I started the nonprofit, because all is one. We're all interconnected. These are the 12 universal laws, guys, summarized, more direct. And I truly hope you guys got something from this, and I wish you all the very best in your journeys. Blessings to all of you, my beloved daughters and my beloved sons, my brothers, my sisters. Have a great day.